Hey, what is up guys? I know this isn't my video explaining why I stopped making content for Fallout in the last half of December, but Bethesda really weren't kidding about the gap between the patch and the patch notes. They've released the January 14th update patch notes today, and as of writing this, they've already concluded the PC version of the update and it has gone live. This update is mostly bug fixes, and it definitely answers a lot of people's feedback. In this, I'll just be talking about the main highlights, and I'll also roll a clip with the rest of the bug fixes, and you can look through that as well as you wish. It will of course also be in the description down below as always. First of all, the new patch version for PC is 1.0.4.13. PS4 and Xbox's patch version will be available next week on January 14th however. The patch notes will of course also remain and may have some slight changes when the update drops on consoles. General changes include the power armor light, which has now been made brighter, performance has been improved and has had changes made to make the game run better across all platforms. They've also improved stability for the Fallout 76 game client and servers. Next up we have balance, with one specific change I didn't even know was so crucial. The first important change to balance comes with the glowing ones, now having a lower XP reward. The newly added dev note section mentioned how these were being used in nuke zones and became highly exploitable, which of course we all know about. There was also two changes to crafting, one being the lower chance of power generators spawning fusion cores, and the second being the minimum component cost of workshop buildings requiring steel, wood or plastic being increased to 2. Meaning that anything requiring any of those components will now start with a minimum cost of 2 of the respective material. Now finally we have bobby pins, which now have a weight of 0.001 instead of 0.1. I wasn't even aware that these weighed so much, but I'm definitely glad that they now have a realistic weight. I believe my character is carrying around 50 at the minute, which is 5 additional pounds of carry weight in bobby pins, which I'm barely going to use 5 of in one session. So it's something I don't need to be carrying around, and it's something I don't need clogging up space in my stash. But now they've been lowered, I guess that's a lot less of an issue now. We also had a fix for teams and the PvP system, but now onto the main chunk of the update, which has become a regular occurrence at this point. Like I said, the bug fixes will all be on screen, and you can pause it as you wish, but I'll only be talking about the main few highlights as to keep this as brief as possible. First off, we have systems, fixed an issue where items could be duplicated. So this of course refers to the duplication glitch or exploit, whatever you want to call it. Next is systems, fixed an issue that allowed armor mods to reduce carry weight past intended values. Now I'll put my hands up, this is something I've used before, but that was to build something for a future video, just for my workshop mode, so I was only carrying around all the junk I could find. But I did believe this was already patched, as I did try it and it didn't work, so I believe there is more. But this is presumably going to cover any carry weight exploits, meaning players can't now wander around with unlimited carry weight, which will probably also increase stability of the game a little, much like ending the duplication glitch will as well. Now, one I knew nothing about, systems. Rads will no longer completely be removed when dying repeatedly. They did put when by dying repeatedly, but I guess they mean when dying repeatedly, or by dying repeatedly, but anyway. They also fixed another systems exploit, where bashing an enemy with the railway rifle or crossbow would add the projectile to the enemy's inventory. I personally didn't use those weapons, but I can only imagine the frequency that this exploit was used by those who did. There was also a fair few changes made to camps, workshops and crafting, and also a few changes to challenges. Now on to another important change however, one that caused a lot of annoyance when it started happening, robots. Fixed an issue that would cause robots to respawn too frequently in White Springs. So there'll finally no longer be an army of robots at the White Springs. Which, I mean, when launching a nuke at the White Springs will probably, make it a little bit harder to fight all the ghouls that come out of there. And it'll also be less rewarding now the glowing ones have had their XP dropped. There's also technically a new item in this update now. Legendary hunting rifles, which will now drop as loot. There's also a change to fusion cores, as they will no longer replenish to full charge upon exiting the game or joining another world. There's also a few changes made across challenges, quests and events, perks, PvP, social, sound and UI, but the few highlights I've selected are as follows. Turrets. Turrets at workshops will now attack players the workshop owner is engaged in PvP with. So if you're taking out the idiot that's camping behind the White Springs and you start fighting him while he's there at his camp, if he's got turrets, chances are those turrets are going to kill you as well now. Trade. Fixed an issue where players could view another player's inventory before they can respond to a trade invite. We also have another for trade. We no longer let trades occur before the requested player has consented to trade. I always thought this was a little bit weird, that you can sort of just look around and you're already in the trade UI before it actually has been accepted, and you kind of just sit there waiting for the trade to be accepted. And finally, we have the following. Trade. Stimpaks with a price value set to 0 will no longer prompt use in the trade menu instead of accept. And last but not least, we have trade. Changed caps limit for player-to-player trades from 5,000 to 25,000. So yeah, there's a massive number of fixes in this, which definitely seems like a good foundation for the new year and definitely shows the promise of things to come. Now, what do you guys think of this update? Is there anything you think that's been missed in the patch notes that you think needs fixing? Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below and I'll respond to you guys, as I am planning to actually make a video on fixing Fallout 76. But anyway, like I said, that is it for this video. I really do hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like on the video and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and peace.